Okay, welcome back to West Coast Goldies. It's week 16, I think. Um, and we're at the end of the week already. It's Sunday, which means this might be a little shorter, but I'm really gonna try to turbo. There's some things I want to get done. So we're gonna power through. I have like 2 or 3 free hours. And so I'm having people over this evening, and so I want to be able to show people the fish tank. So I actually already did a water change this week for everybody here. Just like between other things, I had a little time, but I think I'm gonna do some small water changes and some scrubbing on the front glass, so it looks good for company. Um, and the acrylic tank for my pond that I've been trying to clean out, I had the idea to use my maybe electric pressure washer on it. And now I know what you're thinking. A pressure washer could bust out the seams on the acrylic tank. But honestly, that tank has gotten so much use. I've been using it for like almost 3 years. It was free anyways. The algae is so hard to clean. And my electric pressure washer really isn't that strong. So I think the chances of us cleaning it without breaking it are pretty good. And so cleaning inside, getting the outside pond up and running again. My new lavender ranchie, they've been doing good. I've been feeding them. This one that got injured in transport, it's finally healing. They've been eating duckweed. They've been eating a small amount of pellets, and they're looking good. None of them are lethargic anymore. They've all been swimming around. You can see they're pretty active now compared to when I first got them. They were either at the bottom or the top. Now they're actually swimming back and forth. So I'm really excited. Come summertime, I really want to put them all in the pond outside because it's 300 gallons, the 6 fish, and see how much I can get them to grow. That's not long from now. I mean, it's maybe not officially spring yet, but I already have some plants in my yard budding and stuff. My plum tree is budding, my peach tree is budding. Um, I have a blueberry plant, it's already budding. My raspberry is coming back. So it's not officially spring yet, but my yard thinks it is. So we're getting closer to pond season. Another reason I want to set it all back up. So we're gonna do some cleaning, hopefully get the pond up and running today and clean up out there a little bit. We're gonna get going. We're starting with Sesame and Espresso's tank. Gonna do a little scrubbing, not too much. Like I said, I already managed to do. No. That's the worst part about this magnet cleaner is the other half falls off and then it gets in the sand and then the sand gets all on the inside. You have to clean it really well, otherwise it scratches the glass. And of course, I just dropped it again. All right, cleaned it out. That was annoying. Now we can do some scrubbing. That's the only bummer with this thing. If you go too fast, it loses its grip. I really should get like an actual, like really good magnet scrubber. It's a little more effective. This is like a really cheap one. I think I got it for free. And like it's not the best. It's very small. With all my tanks, I really should invest in one that's bigger and easier to use. But then again, maybe not, you know? Maybe not. That's about all the scrubbing I'm gonna do. I always remember to look at it from a different angle, otherwise you'll miss stuff. I'm gonna do breadsticks tank as well. And I think I'm gonna take a little vinegar, white vinegar on a rag and clean the front of the glass too. That's a good way to do it. You're kidding me. See what I mean? The thing always breaks loose and can't get it back. Every time it falls, I don't want to stick my whole arm in the tank. But thankfully the magnet actually sticks to the net. So like it magnets the net. And I can take it out. So there we go. Don't fall off again, you little thing. Oops, I forgot. I always stir up a tank during a water change to make sure any loose stuff gets sucked up during the water change, and then the filter. Sure, it makes it look a lot worse during the water change, but a lot better after. Of course, my bottom is stuck on the sponge filter here. There we go. Got it. Squeeze the sponge. Call it a day. There we go. Very nice. And last time I did a water change, which was maybe a week ago, I actually still found my blue velvet shrimp in there. They're still living, which is cool. It's not like a full-on colony, but there's a couple that lived, which I think is a win. That means that I think there could be a colony hiding in the pots and the plants. Just about finding which ones will live in those conditions with the water change schedule I have. And so I'll probably continue adding a couple shrimp to each tank to start to build the populations, because I would love blue velvet shrimp in really all these tanks. Helps keep things clean. The babies, the goldfish will snack on. It's another interesting thing to look at in the tank. There we go. A little bit of that. Next. No. You're kidding me. How many times am I going to do that today? It's because I'm trying to go faster and then it falls off. Dish it out once again. Not gonna do that again. Come on. Hopefully that's the last time. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. This tank is really scratched up. You can't see it unless you're close. It could be from sand that I accidentally scraped from what I just said with this magnet filter, like scrubber, but it could also be from whoever used the tank last, because all these tanks here were used. I got them all from they all came with the rack actually from a very nice older gentleman who I think he said he bred discus before he, I don't know, he stopped. And so that's how I got this rack and all these tanks. It was from him on OfferUp. $250 for 6 40 gallons and this steel rack, which is insanely amazing. So yeah, they're I don't even know how old these tanks are, which is a little scary for, you know, as far as fear of them dying, like breaking, but I don't know. I've resealed one already. It went pretty well. Tank's been good since, but so I could always reseal the rest. But the rest of them, the silicone still looks pretty good. So I'm like not in a rush. And I dropped it in the tank again. But thankfully that's the last one, and I think that's all the scrubbing I'm gonna do on the glass. Like I said, I'll probably just do water changes, and at the end I will not Windex, but probably just some vinegar for the front to actually shine the glass up a little bit. But now I think I'm going to continue these water changes while working on the pond area acrylic tank, so we can double up on our productivity, if you will. Why did I say it like that? Oh, and I'm probably definitely going to give some of my pond fish to my friend with a pond. I just haven't gotten around to it. So we will have that extra space, extra gallonage for our fish breeding operations. Yeah. So I think I'm going to set up the pressure washer right about here and work on pressure washing this puppy. Um, just the, well, I might do inside now. I'm not sure yet. Side note, well, I put on this raincoat because I'm going to be making a mess, but this is like a BMW brand jacket. I got it for like $12 at Value Village, and like the only one on eBay is $85. I'm happy. But I'm gonna probably set a time lapse, set up the pressure washer. Tank's filling inside, so I gotta keep an eye on that. And we'll see if we can pressure wash this without totally destroying it and breaking out the seals on the edges. I don't know. Honestly, like I said, I'm not concerned. I've used this tank. Who knows how old this tank is? I think it's like 10, 20 years old for an acrylic tank that's this size. It has so many scratches. If the pressure washer works, I'll be happy. So I'm debating on what to even do right now. The pressure washer worked a little, but not amazing. I think that this tank is just like, it's so scratched that I think like the scratched up, like almost porous surface of the acrylic lets the algae really, really get in there good. Um, I'll give it more attempts at scrubbing it in like the spring, summer, because it'll be easier to put my arm in. That's the main problem with trying to scrub it right now, is it's so cold. I know they sell like arm gloves, insulated, for you to scrub with in like a pond, but like I'm not gonna buy that just for this. Um, so I think I'm just gonna set it back up, and honestly, I'm just gonna keep my eye out for a glass 90-gallon, 100-gallon to put here. There was one free this week, and I messaged them, but someone else got it first. So like, I don't even need a free one, but if I wait and keep my eye out, I can find either a cheap one or a free one. Because like, it's a pond tank, it doesn't need to be that special or nice or anything. It's gonna be outside anyways. But I think I'm just gonna keep my eye out for a nice glass tank. A lot easier to scrape with a razor blade. So for now, this tank will just be a little foggy because I can't scrub all the algae off of it. So after I finish the inside water changes, well, I don't even think I'll set this back up today. I might fill it up tomorrow or something, or the day after, because like there's no rush. The pond fish, there's only like 5 or 6 fish in the main pond, and it's not like they need more water volume right now. It's still raining a lot. I'm not looking to move anybody outside at the moment, so I'll get this up and running in a couple days. For now, I think I'm going to clean up a few of the things, put away the pressure washer. I might mow the lawn, even though it's pretty wet. I don't know. But I realized I may not have shown you. See, I'm draining carpet algae tank in there right now. I run the hose out, and it basically reaches here, but thankfully the patio's slanted, so it just goes off into the grass into the yard. So yeah, you can see all my hoses and messes and rocks I made, and so I'm gonna clean all that up. How are these guys doing? They're doing good. Where is Peach? Peach is over there. Okay. Sweet. All right, just working on some more water changes. I guess there's not much else to do. Clean these tanks up. I feel like I kind of failed my outdoor assignment with that acrylic tank, but like, there's not much more to do. That acrylic tank, I got good use out of it for several years, and it was free, so I can't be mad. I'll look out for something that's easier to clean, because that acrylic is pretty much done for. It could still be good for someone else. It could still be, actually, I mean, it's 100 gallons. It could just be treated as a pond even, you know. I could make the holes on the top bigger while leaving a couple supports in and make it a top view tank for stuff, but I really don't know what I'm going to do over the next couple months as far as my fish. Because, you know, the goldfish, this is episode 16. I'm only going to episode 20 for sure. Because I have a busy life, and I don't know, this was just something fun to try out. But somebody on Facebook Marketplace has some amazing like fish koi breeding, like retail. It's hard to describe them. I guess I'll put a picture of what it looks like up. They have two of them, one with working plumbing, one with not working plumbing. They want $500 for the working one, $250 for the not working one. I don't really need them, but I want them. Because like, you can just buy a regular stock tank, but a stock tank could be for anything, you know. These are stock tanks basically with multiple compartments that are specifically for fish breeding, insulated and everything, and filters built in. So I don't know. I was really considering, I'm considering like totally, because I don't want to make what I have bigger at the moment. There's no reason to upgrade my fish stuff, but I would consider buying both of them instead of the pond I currently have out there, and just have these two blue things side by side outside. But it really depends on like what I end up doing, because once this fish series is over, I might sell this rack and just have my pond outside. And then what would be easier, to have it as it is now, or to have the two blue things side by side? I don't know. I kind of like the blue things, and they're like insulated, I think. So like in the wintertime, it would be easy to cover them, and the fish would stay warmer, which is my main concern, because if I got rid of this rack, it would mean all of these have to go outside in the pond, and like breadstick in particular is like a little sensitive to the cold. So the only way that would work is in one of the blue insulated ones. Now I'm thinking. Now we're getting somewhere. But that's all for the future. I don't know. We'll see. I also may not downgrade anything, you know, once the series is over. It's hard to say, because I like all the fish I have right now, besides the ones I'm already getting rid of. So I don't want to really get rid of many of them, but like, maybe I'll just take a couple of these tanks off this rack, you know? Like, it would be cool if I kept all the fish either in the pond and then in these two tanks, and then emptied the top two and the bottom two and did like plants, you know, to have something still cool in here, nice relaxing space without getting rid of the whole rack, because I don't know. I know I could sell all of it, and I could probably sell this rack and make enough to buy those two blue like breeding containers I want, but I don't know. Well, basically a lot of options. I know I'm rambling on, but nothing else to do in this video besides ramble on a little bit, so. And cleaned up outside a little bit, just so the view's a little better. But I'm excited for this spring. I have a lot of new plants outside planted. But our new fishies are doing very, very well. Forgot to get some close-ups of them. Man, with the light on this tank, you can see their color so much better. They're very, very exactly what I was looking for, basically. Very, very cute. You can see the side injury on this one. It's getting better. It looked worse a few days ago. It's actually healing. So, another good reason to keep their water super clean for now. Because I was trying not to medicate for that. Not against medicating, it just costs money to go out and buy what I need to medicate them. So, ooh, the only other thing to do is clean out my shrimp tank a little bit. I might run and do that. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of scraping here on our shrimp tank and a little water change, or no, probably not a big water change. I really don't change the water much on this, probably once a month. I know the population of shrimp would probably get bigger if I clean the water more, but they're like, it's sustaining life. They're living, they eat. They're all gathered right there for some food I put in earlier. This little scraper works quite well. That's just about all the scraping it needs, I think, just to clean up the front glass. The back and the sides don't really bother me. And this is usually how I do water change. I just take usually a big cup, fill it up, dump it out a couple times. Probably next water change, I think I need to actually clean out the pump and everything because the outflow from that is actually not as strong as it normally is. Probably one more. So I don't do any big water changes. I wouldn't say I'm a shrimp expert, but I just know you can't do as big water changes like with goldfish. They're a little more sensitive to the water quality and everything. And then I just fill it back up with fresh water and I dump it in my little filter area here. That way it doesn't disturb much of the tank or anything. And pouring this into the filter area does kick up a lot of stuff, but it clears up within like an hour. I feel like each pour I'm less and less accurate. There we go, that's better. That's better. I think I want it just a little more filled than that. There we go, that's good. There's our shrimp living their life. You can see all the stuff that got kicked up. I always forget too that my pothos I have growing in the tank probably helps with the nitrates too and makes it go longer without water changes. See, we got quite a good little colony going here, living their best life. I'll probably just clean the front glass and that'll definitely clear up pretty quick. And right on time, come back in here and that's almost filled. It really is like, I don't know. You get like, you'd think I would be used to doing water changes by now. And you'd think that I would remember that like, oh, a tank is filling in this other room. Don't leave it when you and go do something else. But I think only twice a tank has actually overflowed just a little bit. But like I was nearby, I heard the splashing and exactly, immediately knew what it was and ran in here. But like just then when I was doing the shrimp tank, like my brain just totally ignores, like I no longer remember that this is filling in here. And then when I came in here, I was like, oh yeah, it's filling. Good thing I didn't take any longer because that would have been, not the greatest. So I don't know. And then there's other times where I'm like, I did water changes and I finished them, and then like an hour later, I have like a moment of panic and I burst in here, and everything's put away, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did finish. Nothing's overflowing. Does anybody else with fish tanks do that? It's just me. Well, there's not much more to do with this video. I think I'm just gonna end this with a time lapse, wrapping up all my water changes. Kind of a brief one today. Tune in next week for, I don't know, something. Definitely doing something. This unnamed one, it has grown quite a bit. It's really an awesome looking fish. Ranchu. Still need a name for it. Now here's what I'll try to do next week. Next week I'll probably fill that up, try to rehome those pond fish I want to, and in here I was thinking of, I like 3 and 3 during quarantine time. Um, and I'm considering quarantine until basically the one that got injured is healed. I think I'll probably end the quarantine then because they seem really healthy. They haven't shown any signs of anything wrong. But once that one with the broken scales is healed, I kind of would like to move them all into one tank and then do like a daily water change, because then I can really up the feeding. Because I could feed them a lot, but 2 water changes a day is kind of a lot more work. If they're all in one tank and I feed them 2 or 3 times a day and do a water change every day or every other day, then like they're getting fed a lot, they're also getting fresh water a lot. Oh, and it's time to stop that. Guess it just goes to show I can be even standing here and not notice when the tank is full. Just the right level though. But yeah, basically I may move them all to one tank at some point for easier high growth activities. Because basically when they're this size, they can grow very quickly if you change the water a lot and feed them a lot at like a nice 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't use any heaters in here, as you probably know. I like to just keep them at room temperature. And these tanks, depending on the time of year, usually are between 65 and 72, I'd say, just from the room temperature. So yeah, you can crank the heat up to 75, 80 and feed them a lot more and they'll grow a lot faster, but that also seems to shorten their lifespan because then they grow a lot in their first year or two of life and then they don't grow much more after that and die after maybe 5 or 6 years. But if you go the slow growth route, they usually live a little longer. There's exceptions to everything, but from what I've read and seen from other people, that seems to be the case. Breadstick's been doing a lot of cute little barrel rolls since I did her water change. Adorable. She has been showing some good growth the last 6 months, more than normal, because she was the same size for a long time. So it's kind of cool to see. Same with Sesame. Sesame has been, not the biggest her whole life, but it's nice to see everybody's growing. Maybe I'm getting better at being a goldfish keeper. It's not like I've been doing this 10 years or anything, so always more to learn.